everyone. The time now, 2:08 p.m. Central Time, 3:08 Eastern Time, and we learned that just moments ago, the jury rang a bell. That's right, the jury rang a bell. We are on verdict watch. Now, I do not know if this means there has been a verdict. I don't believe so. I believe it's a much more complex process, possibly. But right now, we do know that a bell just rang, and I just want to say this. I was just checking my Twitter here. Prosecutors have entered the courtroom, and then Trump's okay. Trump, followed by his defense team and entourage, is filing back in right now. We just saw them on a shot we do have. I'm going to attempt to get that pulled up for you guys. If we can, you'll be the first ones to see it here on Brooklyn News. Stand by with me. Here is that shot just outside the courtroom. Let me turn it down just a little bit. You can see a reporter there, or I can see it at least, a reporter there rushing into that building. And then an officer there walking with someone there. So we're waiting for that to see exactly what is going to happen. We just saw Trump walk outside of this courtroom. I want to put something in really quickly to note here, and I do not know if we're going to be... Sir, if you'll stand by with me, I'm putting in a lower third here. So, juror rings the bell. It's unknown why. The prosecution and the defense have entered the courtroom once again. And we are following this all. You can see my lint roller there. We were just I was just minding my own business here, and I looked over at my TV here that you may be able to hear in the background. I apologize for not muting that. Let me mute that right now. You've been able to hear TV here. I was just watching it, and then I looked over my phone. It says jury rings bell in room. We're all shuffling back into the courtroom. So it's unknown why just yet. Why the jury may have rang that bell. We are working to understand why in that courtroom right now. Justice Merchan takes the bench. Quote: "We've received a note." Okay, we have to see what that note may say. And what that may have to do with here. We are going to wait for that here as we take a look there at the courtroom shot right outside the courtroom. So again, jury ringing that bell, saying, and let me update our lower third here. Next, an update there in the bottom of your screen. Oh, maybe. Okay, there we go. So right now, Merchan, we've received a note. Let's see what new updates we might have. No new updates just yet coming from any of those courtroom reporters. Thank you all so much for tuning into our live coverage, though, coming on so quick. That's why we had this live video scheduled, because we knew, or I knew at least, that we were going to have at any moment in all of this, we were going to see a note or something occur, and we were going to need to jump on the air as quick as possible. If you have any questions, please do comment that. I don't have answers on the note, but if you have any other questions revolving around this case, what's going on right now? Again, jury deliberations were going on, and then according to reporters inside that courtroom, we had a note, and we just got an update in. The note contains 4 requests. David Pecker testimony regarding phone conversation during investor meeting. 2, Pecker testimony related to McDougal's life rights agreement. And then 3, Pecker's testimony regarding Trump Tower meeting. And 4, Cohen's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. Okay. Again, I want to read that off to you guys. The note contains 4 requests. The first request being David Pecker's testimony regarding the phone conversation during the investor meeting. Okay? The second request being David Pecker's testimony relating to McDougal's life rights agreement. The third being Pecker's testimony regarding Trump Tower meeting. And the fourth being Cohen's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. So obviously here we're learning that the jury wants to obviously or hear or learn more about kind of what's going on here. We're having to put that feed again, but just an idea of what's going on here. So regarding that investor meeting with David Pecker, Pecker's testimony related to McDougal's life rights agreement, and Cohen's testimony regarding Pecker's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting, and Cohen's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. Okay. So again, we've received a note, Judge Merchan saying that note containing 4 requests. Those 4 requests, again, I'll read them back off to you guys. David Pecker's testimony regarding phone conversation during investor meeting. The second request, Pecker's testimony related to McDougal's life rights agreement. The third, Pecker's testimony regarding Trump Tower meeting. And the fourth, Cohen's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. So, and we'll break down just a little bit of analysis here, what we know about that Trump Tower meeting. I'll go into my sequence of events here that we have. So, Trump Tower meeting occurred in... Stand by here. That was right after he was elected, am I correct? Yeah, Trump arrives to reimburse Cohen. Okay, hold on here. Yeah, by January 20th, 2017, prosecutors alleged that between election day and inauguration day, Trump meets privately with Pecker in Trump Tower in Manhattan, thanking him for handling the stories of the doorman and the first woman, according to the statement of facts. I want to go to any new updates from inside that courtroom. I figure we'll give him the testimony, and we'll be good on that factor of things here today. It's also 3:16, and they were expected, or Judge Merchan said we'll talk about it once we get there about scheduling and different things of that nature. But they were expected today to end at 4:30. It's only 3:16 Eastern time, but it would be 3:30 Central time when they were expected today to go ahead and adjourn. So guys, again, we are just watching this as it all comes in, and that's why I just had this standby live feed where those could just tune in, where we could just break down quick information of what was going on. This was the easiest way I thought I would be able to, because I can just stand by and I can just click my go live button and we could go ahead and go. Okay, new update from the courtroom. Okay, no. We will have to see again what happens here. Again, those 4 requests in that note that the jury is just now talking about here is going to be, I'll go back to reading this here, David Pecker's testimony regarding the phone conversation during the investor meeting. 2, Pecker's testimony related to McDougal's life rights agreement. 3, Pecker's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. And 4, Cohen's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. This is extremely developing news, and this is what it's going to look like each time we have something to break in for you guys with. This is exactly what it's going to look like. We standing by here. We'll go back to having the live scheduled, and I'll edit all the links for you guys once we end this stream here, and then we will go right back. So again, just running you through the beginning of the situation that has just occurred inside the courthouse. The jury has been deliberating for more than 3 hours now, and now we're more than 3 hours in now of deliberations, and the jury rang the bell, and that means that there's something going on, and the press obviously is inside the courthouse, and so is the defense and the prosecution. They hear the bell. They then have to go back to that courtroom where Judge Rashan says, quote, "We've received a note," and that's what you see at the bottom of your screen there. And that note, again, containing 4 requests, those requests being David Pecker's testimony regarding phone conversation during the investor meeting, 2, Pecker's testimony related to McDougal's life rights agreement, 3, Pecker's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting, and 4, Cohen's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting. So Pecker and Cohen's Trump Tower meeting, and then investor meeting with Pecker, and then more on Pecker's testimony regarding the McDougal's life rights. And David Pecker was if I'm getting this correct, the former chairman and CEO of American Media Incorporated, which owned the National Enquirer, the tabloid that made that deal with the former president of the United States back in, I believe it was, 2015. And I'll read this off to you. This is all according to the statement of facts here that I have. Trump meets with David Pecker, then chairman and CEO of American Media Incorporated, which owns the National Enquirer, at Trump Tower in New York. Pecker agrees to help with Trump's campaign by looking out for negative stories about him to, quote, catch and kill, according to the prosecutor's statement of facts. He also agrees to publish negative stories about Trump's competitors in the election. That's all according to the statement of facts filed by the Manhattan DA that is prosecuting this case here. So the jurors, so according to a reporter inside that courtroom here, and I'm reading this information off directly from reporters in the courtroom, because we were just talking about it all right as we were as it's happening, I'm saying it. So we're following a lot of reporters inside the courtroom who are able to provide really second by second information. They're able to type really fast, but we are waiting for the jurors to enter the courtroom. Recall, the jury is working till 4:30 p.m. today, so the timing of this procedural part of deliberations will be at issue. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's 3:21. They're only going to be working to 4:30, so they may go back until then, but we will have to see here. And I want to go back to something else. I believe it was the second or third request was about Karen McDougal's life rights request, and what it appears that they're talking about is the story rights. When they paid her, I believe Karen McDougal, I believe it was, or the alleged payment was $150,000. But I don't believe that payment ever went through. Am I correct? Yeah, because then David Pecker, the former CEO and chairman of American Media Incorporation that owns the National Enquirer, the tabloid here that we're talking about, then it says Pecker consulted with AMI's general counsel and then told Cohen that the deal was off. That was about purchasing the rights to her story, because she had claimed she had an affair with before he was president, before he was ever even running for president, in the early 2000s, really, claimed that she had an affair with him during his marriage. Okay, for some reason there may have been a glitch here. It just popped up information from 3 hours ago. I don't know what we have going on here. Oh, someone retweeted it. Or reposted it, I should clarify. Okay, so I believe what this will mean, I don't know if they just get the piece of the transcript. I know they probably have to find that transcript. That's probably extremely true. They have to find the pieces in that transcript. It's a long transcript there. and then we'll go from there. But I'm sure they have some way of identifying maybe somewhere in there of where some of this stuff is. And right there, that feed you have there on your screen is from inside the courthouse. That is right outside the courtroom. We will be watching that consistently. That's what you've been seeing there on the side of your screen. We're watching that consistently and seeing any information that may come out of there and giving that to you guys, of course. And if Trump comes out to speak right there, we'll have that for you. He spoke right after jury deliberations. I do not have the complete and full feed for you guys. I don't have that just yet. Okay, let's see what we have going on now. Limited updates as to what is happening now in the courtroom. I believe we're waiting for the jury to file in. And again, the deliberation now, I'm just looking over here. I have some news works playing over here. One of their timers says it's been going on for about 3 hours and 56 minutes, almost 4 hours. Okay. Again, what has just occurred is the jury has been deliberating for almost 4 hours, according to these timers over here, and a note has come through, and you can see there my St. Bernard joining us there in the background, but the jury has just come through with a note asking for 4 different requests of information. It's going to be related to David Pecker's testimony regarding McDougal's life rights agreement, which I do believe that is going to be him testifying to the $150,000 that AMI was going to pay, but then he consulted with the council. They decided that was off. There's that, but also it's regarding a phone conversation during the investor meeting, Pecker's testimony regarding the Trump Tower meeting, and Cohen's testimony regarding that Trump Tower meeting. And David Pecker was a key witness here because he is the one that kind of helped and orchestrated the payment. Not exactly. Let me rephrase that here. Let's go to when Stormy Daniels was soon to get paid here. So he was the one that let Michael Cohen know that Stormy Daniels, Stephanie Clifford is her legal name there, but Stormy Daniels, the porn star, was going to come out with their story. So I'll read you off this. The AMI editor-in-chief connects Cohen with the woman's lawyer. The two then negotiate a deal to secure the woman's silence. The woman would be paid $130,000 for the rights to her story, according to the statement of facts. Trump allegedly tells Cohen to delay making a payment to the second woman for as long as possible. If he is able to delay making the payment until after the election, they could avoid paying altogether. And then prosecutors claim emails and text messages between both lawyers and the AMI editor-in-chief show they attempted to delay making the payment for as long as possible. But ultimately, Trump did end up making that. It was Michael Cohen opened up the shell company to pay or to take $130,000 out of his home equity loan in order to pay Stormy Daniels for her silence. And this isn't about necessarily this hush money payment, as it's been referred to often as the hush money trial. Yes, it's about hush money, but hush money is actually not illegal to be done. It apparently happens quite often, but it's not necessarily that. It's more that the way that the bookkeepers put it into the system here as legal expenses, and that they orchestrated a retainer agreement. And Trump said, or the defense has said, they had a verbal retainer agreement. I should clarify there. A verbal retainer agreement. The prosecution says, no, you have not had any type of retainer agreement. And basically, according to the statement of facts here, they basically said they orchestrated Cohen and Alan Weisselberg, the CFO of the Trump org, orchestrated that Michael Cohen would put in a request for $35,000 from the Trump Organization for Legal Services Rendered each month for 12 months to receive $35,000 to end up paying him. I believe it was $420,000, and they doubled the $130,000. Gave him a $60,000 year-end bonus and another $50,000, which Cohen says was for the Redfinch, or not Cohen. I'm sorry, let me back up here. Was for the Redfinch payment, and Cohen says he stole $30,000 of that because he only paid $20,000 for the Redfinch payment. Okay. Sorry, you got me on a quick rant there on some of the just trying to back up what maybe this is talking about. That Trump Tower meeting. Earlier, we were talking about that Trump Tower meeting. I believe we can go back over to that. The Trump Tower meeting was just, I believe, Trump meets privacy with Pecker in Trump Tower in Manhattan, thanking him for handling the stories of the doorman and the first woman, according to the statement of fact. Trump invites Pecker to the inauguration. That also happened there. So we're watching this information as it comes in. We're going to see what exactly may happen. It's been 3 minutes since our last update, or I'm sorry. It's actually been about 17 minutes since we learned, or since we here were able to learn about that they had received a note inside the courtroom and what that note information was requesting from the jury that's been deliberating now for 4 hours and 1 minute. It has been a long jury, I feel, instructions, and we actually have access to those jury instructions. I wanted to note that earlier. We'll do this here. Able to view some of those jury instructions that was posted on the court's website. It's 55 pages, and I've gone through some of it on over here, and I just haven't gotten into our system here where you're able to view it like this. But it just note, and it's pretty much, I believe, his note. It's kind of what was typed up for him to say. And he said this twice. His idea here was, because he wasn't going to give 55 pages to each juror or just the four-person here to go over and look over and remind themselves of what's going on. So they decided that they weren't going to get, the jury was not going to receive the jury instructions, and that what they were going to do was, one moment here, guys. And what they were going to do is, basically, he was going to read it twice. So his 30 minutes to 30 minutes, which meant an hour, he said it was going to take him an hour to read, was 30 minutes of reading it once, 30 minutes of reading it the second time. So it took a little over an hour, I do believe so. And then he clarified some things, and they do have a laptop in that room that I believe it was jurors 4 and 6 volunteered to learn about, and we do have, we are able to show you guys, I do believe so. Here we go. Here is, that's the wrong one here, but here we go. Here's a full screen of the jury there. Juror 4 is a security engineer, and Juror 6 is a software engineer. We also learned about Juror 6. I was looking earlier at some of the more information that they answered to, and when jury selections were going on, she's actually fresh out of college. So she is younger. She and the security engineer both volunteered to learn how to use the laptop. They came up to the bench. According to court reporters, I believe that was the wording they used. They came up to the bench, learned how to use the laptop, and then clarified some different things with the judge there, and then they went to deliberations. I want to go over, I do believe, let's talk about each one of these requests. I do have a little highlight here from Lawfare. One of the Lawfare reporters posted this here, and I'm able to. I don't think we're going to be able to get on the screen here, but I can read it to you. That's for sure. Reminder: this first request is a reference to a call between Pecker and Trump in June of 2016. Karen McDougal's story was on the market. Cohen had suggested that Pecker acquire it. Okay. Sometime later in the third week of June, Pecker testifies that he got a call from Trump. He was at an investors meeting in New Jersey at the time. Quote, I was making a presentation and an update on our business, and the assistant in the office came into the conference room and said, there's a call from you from Donald Trump, and I left and took the call, end quote. When Pecker got to the phone, he testifies Trump said, and this is what live looks to you guys. The battery's going out, me not even noticing. That is what it looks like. I'm not sure how much you heard. I don't think I'm going to read that again. But to summarize the phone call that they're talking about the phone call where Pecker says, you need to go. Pecker requests that they, or kind of infers maybe that you need to go ahead and buy this story. Basically saying, and then he testified to the fact that Trump doesn't buy stories, but he loves when other people do for him. Michael Cohen then saying, quote, oh, I'm sorry here. Michael Cohen then saying, one moment, we are way off here. Okay, maybe. Sorry, I think we have some more updates coming in. Oh, here's what we're talking about. Pecker testifies that he told Cohen he would have Howard negotiate the deal, but there was a question, quote, who is going to pay for it, end quote. He asked Cohen. Cohen said, quote, don't worry, I'm your friend. The boss will take care of you. So that's what occurred there. Okay, we are watching this all on this great day of deliberations, a long one, 4 hours, 9 minutes. I'm not sure if the jury is inside the courtroom yet or if they're getting that information, what's exactly going to happen here. But we, I believe, are going to take a short break here on Brooklyn News. And we'll be right back as soon as we have a new update. I'm Jackson Mitchell, and you have been watching Brooklyn News' special coverage of Trump in the courtroom. Stand by here. watching. Local news is special coverage of Trump in the court. Welcome back. Okay, apologies, it appears. Okay, we're just having some technical difficulties with my microphone. Apologies about that. We will get that worked out. But as we do, I do want to let you know what is going on right now. So, and my thinking here is that there's so much to go through to find exactly what the testimony that they're looking for here when it comes to Pecker, David Pecker. They were talking about before we took a break there. So, my thinking here is they're going through that and finding it, but right now the jury is sitting inside the courtroom, but nothing is happening. They're just sitting inside that courtroom. But CNN reported earlier, they had their little updates on top of their screen earlier. I was looking at it and it said that Alina Habba was, Alina Habba was leaning over the rail talking to the lawyers, it does believe, or listening in closely at least to some of the lawyers. Here we are right now, just awaiting here what might go on. I want to check as we wait here. I have to log in, but one moment. Let's check Trump's Truth Social if we can. Or I'm going to attempt to here. So Trump has, so 40 minutes ago he posted a Fox News clip saying for Judge Jeanine from Fox News, quote, "This is unheard of. Election interference," another Fox News clip. "Weaponization of the justice system," another Fox News clip. "Biden witch hunt," another Fox News clip. Judge Jeanine, "That's bizarre. No one has ever heard of this." Okay, so it appears what he has been posting in the last 3 hours plus is just the scholars and legal experts are saying, quote, "There was no crime." That appears to be what he has been posting in the last little bit, saying there was no crime, and posting legal scholars, legal experts, basically just saying, assisting his opinion. So, that is that. They are waiting again for testimony to be read back to them as the jurors sent in a note to the judge requesting some testimony to be read back to them relating to David Pecker and Michael Cohen, Karen McDougal, and different things of that nature. We are waiting for that to occur. Again, my assumption here is the jury sits inside that courtroom. Is that they're just looking for that testimony right now. We are going to sneak in another break right here in Brooklyn News. You have been watching Trump in the Courtroom. I'm Jackson Mitchell, and we will be back on this special courtroom as the deliberations continue. When we return right after this. welcome in here on Brooklyn News. I'm Jackson Mitchell. Thanks for joining us. Our continuing coverage of the Trump courtroom starts right now. Happening in that courtroom, breaking news. The second bell rings in the main courtroom. What this could mean, another question from the jury. We yet do not know. We are working to develop that information. And as soon as we get that, we will bring that directly to all of you. Again, a second bell ringing in that main courtroom. Updates to come on that very soon here. I want to go back to what is kind of going on here, why we're here, why I had to start this live video up. Well, a bell rang earlier, and we learned that one moment here. Okay, apologies here. Requesting earlier, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, all these updates that we have, just to make sure I'm getting everything completely specific. David Pecker, the former CEO and chairman of American Media Corporation, which owned the tabloid, which owned the tabloid. One moment here. The National Enquirer. They requested testimony from David Pecker that we were just talking about regarding phone conversations during an investor meeting. 2, they requested Pecker's testimony related to McDougal's life rights agreement. 3, Pecker's testimony regarding Trump Tower meeting. And 4, Cohen's testimony regarding Trump Tower meeting. Judge Merchan is back on the bench. Okay, Merchan. Okay, update. We have a second note from the jury. We, the jury, request to rehear the judge's instructions. Okay, so the jury wants to rehear the judge's instructions, and we actually have access to that. Yep, that's right. We have access to that, and we can run through it with all of you. Let's go back to page 1 here. There we go. This is his, and we can also watch the courtroom. Let me get all this right here. Let me figure out how exactly to organize this, and our feed inside that courtroom is messing up, so we do not have a feed there right now. We'll come back to that as soon as we get it. But let me figure out how I can do this. So, and we've been having troubles all day with that feed on this side of things, so we're working on that too. That's reloading up right now. Let's do this. Sorry, I wanna make sure everything is completely correct here. For some reason, I cannot reorganize it on this side of things. 1 second. Okay, we are gonna get this fixed, guys. Stand by for us. And those are the jurors that you're seeing, that juror graphic on your screen there. And we'll go through maybe some of those instructions. Another note from 2:51 p.m. Central, 3:51 Eastern, a request to rehear the jury instructions. Okay, now Merchan suggests bringing the jury back to clarify whether they want the entire instructions or just a portion, and to let them know that the court is working on the prior request. No objection to that. So I think what we want to do is do it kind of like this, and then have that PDF right here. There we go. I think that clears up some things, and we can change this. And I'll put in at the bottom what's going on here. So happening right now, 2 notes coming in from the jurors. I think they're just starting to kind of get fired up now and noticing what they can do there. So 2 notes from jurors requesting testimony from Cohen and Pecker. Second is requesting jury instructions. And I may be able to limit that a little bit here and doing this right here. There we go on your screen right now. Nope, I thought I was going to be able to do it. So we're watching that as it all occurs. And I'm gonna. These are the jury instructions that you're seeing on your left, and we have the jury there. So right now, 2 notes from jurors requesting testimony from Cohen and Packer. They requested. Yes, and jury instruction. So we're waiting here. I'm gonna see if we have any updates coming in from that courtroom. Judge Mershon also inquires about the laptop the jurors were provided, which contains exhibits into evidence. Does it have Wi-Fi capability? Susan Hoffinger indicates that it does, and Justice Mershon asks if there's a way to disable that function. Justice Mershon suggests bringing the jury back into the jury box so that he can reread the jury instructions. No objections from the parties. The 6 alternates will also listen in. All rise, and the jury enters. Justice Mershon begins rereading the jury notes he received this afternoon. The foreperson indicates that the notes Justice Mershon read aloud are accurate. In light of the second note, Justice Mershon says, "We thought it would be best to bring you out now. We're still working on locating the testimony you requested to have read back to you." So that's what's going on right now inside that courtroom. Those are the jury instructions there. We'll just have it like this because I think it relates to kind of what's going on right now. Jury instructions, the jurors, and here just kind of what's going on. And I actually may be able to do this. I think this might be better. So they're requesting jury instructions as well as testimony from Cohen and Pecker. Okay, waiting for updates here. Again, what is happening right now, you can see there at the bottom of your screen, 2 notes from the jurors requesting testimony from Cohen and Pecker and jury and jury instructions. He said he's going to bring them back in to clarify, do they want the whole thing read or what they kind of want here? Okay, for the second request about the jury instructions there, Mershon asked if they want the instructions in part or in full and says they don't have to decide that answer now. They can go back and deliberate about that. Jurors nod their head as if they say yes to reviewing the entirety of the instructions. Still, none has have audibly responded, and judge notes that they will need to immediately answer. And that they, I'm sorry, and that they do not have to immediately answer. Mershon then gives his usual end-of-day instructions with a special added emphasis because he tells the jurors that they are at a critical phase of the trial deliberations. Continuously waiting for updates here. We are waiting, watching, and looking at this all because right now, the jurors in this criminal hush money trial have requested two different things. Those two things being testimony from Michael Cohen, the former personal lawyer to the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and David Pecker, the former chairman and CEO of American Media Incorporation, the parent company of National Enquirer. And as we wait for that right now, Mershon asking the jurors there, and you can see which one of them are there, asking the jurors if they want this all in full or whole for the jury instructions they requested, and then saying that the team was working on getting them the requested testimony that they had specifically requested there. So we're waiting on that right now, I do believe. So is that where Trump in the courtroom coverage does continue here. So much that we are waiting to see and look at right now. So much, again, guys, as Trump in the courtroom coverage here continues. Okay, so. Okay, Justice Mershon asking the jurors when to rehear the jury instructions in part or full. He's going to excuse them for the day as they are still locating the requested testimony, which will take a half hour to read. Okay, yeah, for the day, okay. So Justice Mershon says we'll get started tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., at which point the court will continue working on the transcript request. He mentions they can work late tomorrow, but not beyond 6 p.m. He thanks them and wishes them a good night. We are going to have so much for you guys coming up tomorrow here on Trump in the Courtroom coverage. I'll get that scheduled for you guys tonight. It is 3:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4:07 p.m. Eastern Time. We will get, again, that live scheduled back, and I'll post it on all of our socials. While we're at it, have this moment to plug myself here. Follow my socials here at the bottom of your screen there, you see? Follow them, okay? You'll be getting critical updates in this case. Again, I'm fixing to tweet what just happened inside this and give everyone a quick recap. But follow our live videos while you're at it. So again, Instagram, Jackson Mitchell BN. X is Jackson MITCHEBN. Facebook is just my first and last name there, Jackson Mitchell. Website, brooklynnews.wordpress.com. And subscribe here on YouTube or follow my X account. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Brooklyn News' special coverage of Trump in the courtroom. Court beginning tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. I'll be right back here for it all, where we will hear testimony read back. Again, we'll be right back here with you all. Thanks so much for watching.